let's finally do this video. Let's talk about parrot training or grooming with blood parrots. So I just got home from work. Every day when I get home from work, I generally throw the mirror in with one fish, and then on Mojo here, I'll get his parrot ready. A lot of people keep their parrots in separate tanks. What I do is I have his down in the sump. I know there's a lot of controversy about keeping them in the same system because if it's a female, the male might, or if you have a male Flowerhorn, which you'd be grooming, might try to breed with a female blood parrot. So it just smells in the water, and the hormones in the water, and anything you do could make them go into a breeding mode, and fish doesn't groom well when it thinks it's going to breed. They'll lose their color, they'll lose their cock or their hump, and it's just not good for it. So I haven't vented my parrot. It's pretty small. I had multiples, but they seem to kill each other off. At least the ones I've had must have been mean ones. So, but I got it down in the sump here, so it's in the same water, it's in the same temperature, and I think I figured out a way that you can feel good about. A lot of people don't like using a parrot as a punching bag. A lot of the people that aren't so seasoned in Flowerhorn grooming think that that's pretty cruel. The reasons you use a blood parrot is because their mouth is deformed. Even a King Kong parrot doesn't have that. You go for a blood parrot preferably, because if you did put a blood parrot straight in with your Flowerhorn, which if you're doing that, you want to have one that's quite a bit larger, or at least of substantial size in comparison to your Flowerhorn. You want to do that, and then if they lock lips or anything like that, the parrot's mouth is shaped in a way that it can't really do any damage to your, several $100 Flowerhorn, or even if you've got a cheaper one, you're just trying to make it look as good as you can. So what I do is I keep it down here. I think I figured out a way to make it so everybody is happy with it. You don't feel like you're being mean to your blood parrot. If you're one of those people that are worried about your fish's feelings, and you're making it so it's not like an overly stressful experience. So what I do is, there's multiple ways to do it. One of the ones that people really seem to like lately is the hamster ball technique. Put the fish in a hamster ball. It kind of floats around, neutrally buoyant, inside your tank, and your Flowerhorn can kind of bump it and push it around, and that way you're not going to injure your Flowerhorn. Like if he was over here and you're playing with your finger with the fish, and you got a real aggressive one, you put your hand over here, if they ran that full distance and ran the glass, you can get spine injury, they can mess up their jaws. You don't want to do any of that. So a lot of people like to put a parrot in a hamster ball, and it'll float around. He can push it around, and you don't really risk injury so much, unless you had a really crazy one and they're ramming this thing all over the place. I've kind of moved up from that. I did that for a while. It's got annoying because the hamster ball does not just fit in my lid. I have to pick up the whole lid and slide it in there, and if you've got lights and everything on top of that, and the top of this tank is kind of storage for other things. I've got just like crickets and such for the chameleon and the fish room. I try to have as much tanks as possible so I lose out on storage space, so things like that happen. So yeah, there's the hamster ball. If you have a large parrot, say I've got a 4-inch Flowerhorn here, you'd want to have a pretty hefty 3-inch plus parrot. Sometimes people go with like a 6-inch parrot with a 4-inch Flowerhorn. Then you're not really stressing the parrot out, and your Flowerhorn can't do a whole lot of damage, but it gets to strut and push the parrot around and feel like it's really the boss. What I do, like right here, I bought a 99-cent, maybe it was $1.99 from Walmart. It's just like a 2-quart container with a lid. I drilled a bunch of holes in it, and then just to make sure, I got them in the bottom, got them around the top of the edge, and then I got them on the lid, just to make sure that it wasn't anything that the Flowerhorn could get scratched on, because I mean, when you got a fish with a watercock like this, a real squishy, sensitive piece of its body, you don't want it to get scraped, because they can scratch easy and get an injury, and that's just opening for, sickness. And we don't want any of that, and healing could leave scarring. So I took a lighter and I kind of just melted and smoothed out all the holes so there's no sharp edges. What I found out after I did this, what works really good, is a drill bit for RC cars. They got the body drill bits that are made for drilling thin Lexan, so it's exactly what you need to do. So what I do is I just go down here with my net, grab my parrot, And then, how I kind of figured out to be like a non-stressful, kind of rewarding experience is I feed my parrot in here. So what I do is I put a little bit of Excalibur. I normally either do Excalibur, the normal one, Mass Effect, or Intense Red, because if you got a parrot, you might as well have it red. So I'll put its daily food in there. And then I take the parrot, drop them in there, get the lid on it, and then I put them in here. You can see right away Mojo's going after it. And the parrot, it's not even stressed out. It knows that it's feeding time, so it's already eating, and I haven't even gotten to the bottom of the thing. So what you do here is you only want to leave that in as long as your Flowerhorn is interested in it. If he loses interest, then the grooming is kind of almost going to reverse on you. You want him to stay interested in it and be aggressive. The second he stops being aggressive is a good time to take it out. Every fish is different. I've got him, he'll go at this thing for half an hour strong with, he only will take a break to eat. And other fish, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and they're done with it. And you need to take it out right away, because otherwise they're just going to cohabitate with the fish, and they're going to get lesser reaction with the parrotfish following that. So there is the jar, and like I said, the other way is to put them in a hamster ball or just let them in there free. Some people use multiples. I would never go more than probably 2, just to keep the Flowerhorn busy. And yeah, you can see the parrot's not even stressed. Even when the Flowerhorn goes up to him, he just kind of ignores it because he knows he's going in there to eat. He's in the same water. If you do another tank, that's fine too, as long as you keep the same temperatures. And I'm sure if you got multiple tanks, you probably got pretty exact same water parameters too. So yeah, here it is. Blood Parrot training. There's my, 5-6 minute spiel on it. We'll do some more grooming videos. I've got to get him trimmed to, he's got a really great bottom fin. That anal fin curves real nicely into the tail, but the dorsal, it used to curve up, and I've been shaping it to come down, and now I gotta do one more shaping and split it so it brings it back to the tail. So we'll do that in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe, and comment if you got anything to say, any questions, feel free to ask. I'll see you next time.